Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Gladiator, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
And I'm Steven.
Good afternoon, folks. Brandon is not joining us because he has other obligations that he has to attend to, so it will just be the three of us today.
Don't act like he has something important to do. He's watching football right now.
Hey, I didn't want to call him out that hard.
Oh, I am.
He is busy watching the playoffs, so that is where he is right now. All right. Well, how are the two of you doing? I'm doing pretty well. It's been a nice weekend, nice time off because last weekend I felt like I was doing stuff from the very beginning till the very end.
I'll see. That was me this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How are you doing, Brad? What have you been up to?
I've been doing a lot. My parents came to visit yesterday, and then today I went and bought new shoes, and then watched a movie.
What movie?
Oh, it's some new movie that's out. It looked pretty good. It's called The Princess Bride.
Oh, it's in theaters right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
They're doing
it is.
Like a throwback in the theater.
Yeah, for the listeners, one of our local theaters every week has a throwback that they play from 2 to 4 times days during the week, 2 showings a day. And this week, I just happened to look, and it was The Princess Bride, and I told my wife, I have to go see it because I've never seen it in theaters, and it is the best movie ever made. And it was great. It was a good movie-going experience.
Well, that's good. I do love that movie.
It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm. Steven, how have you been this weekend?
I've been fine. I got together with friends yesterday at one of our gaming parlors, and we had a grand old time playing Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Improper teleprompter. So.
Improper is that a game? Is that a board game?
Yes, it is, and it comes with a sex panther.
Well, that sounds fun.
It has everything from the movie, but if you remember how they messed with Ron Burgundy and the teleprompter quite a bit, doing the gyrations and the words and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's what it is. One person's the anchor, and then the other people around, they have news stories, and you have this metal board that's magnetic, and you put nouns, plural nouns, and verbs in the proper places, and then you set it down, and it is ridiculous.
Well, that sounds like a whole lot of fun.
My friend Eric laughed when I hit him with a hot dog stabbing contest.
Well, I that sounds like a game that I would like to play at some point.
Maybe we'll have to bring it down for the next tournament. So yeah, it was very enjoyable.
All right then. I see that I'm the person who had the least amount of fun this weekend, now that I'm realizing it. Okay, well, let's move on to the upcoming tournaments that are coming up. So the next tournament I have on my schedule is February the 15th. That is at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. That is our local game store, and if you are in the area, you should come down. This is going to be a small affair. I think this is going to be myself, Brad, Brandon, and maybe 1 or 2 other people. So we need as many people as we can get. So come on down, everyone. Then, coming up in March, on March the 15th, there's going to be the opposite of a small event. There's going to be Akron Brew Brawl at the Missing Falls Brewery in Akron, Ohio. That is going to be the final BECC event. So everyone should go. Oh, what's that, Brad?
I just realized I'm gonna have to move our tournament for that month. Or I could just have it the same day and go for the brew brawl instead.
You could. Well, that is going to be the final BECC event. The Akron Brew Brawl will be, and I myself will be attending. So we'll see if I'm qualified to be in the BECC. By then, we will find out who the final 8 will be. Okay.
I am also going.
Yes. It will be a good time. All right. So there is a lot of news out of AMG that we have to talk about. They have dropped several things this past week. They dropped the full card for Gladiator. We know his card. We don't know all of his tactics cards. Do we know any of his tactics cards?
Who?
Gladiator?
Yeah, we know
Who?
2 of his tactics cards.
Okay, we know 2 of them.
The
Hey.
only 2. The only 2.
The only 2. So we do know everything in that box now. Or no, we don't, because we don't know all the crises. Sorry.
Yeah, we definitely
so,
don't know all the crisis cards.
Correct. But we do know 3 of them. So they dropped Gladiator, and they also dropped information. 2 of the characters in the new Inhumans box. They dropped the new Black Bolt, and the new other character.
Maximus.
Who's the other character?
Maximus.
Maximus the Mad.
Black
Maximus
Bolt's
the Mad.
brother. Maximus Boltagon.
Oh gosh, really?
Yeah. Why would they have the same last name, Fred?
Hey, I didn't know they had the same last name. I haven't really dug deep in the card yet.
No.
Well,
I
they
mean,
could
once
have-
you found that they were brothers, why wouldn't you assume they had the same last name?
Oh,
Because-
okay. Well,
Because
Yeah.
they could have had one mother and 2 different fathers. That's why.
They don't.
that's true.
They have the same mother and father.
They also could have gone with anything other than Boltagon as being the last name at any point.
But then it's not as
What a
funny.
ridiculous last name. That's true. Okay, well, we have information from that box too, but not all of it. Let's start. All right, so the first thing that I think that we should do is we should talk about the new. There is one card that was dropped in that box, which is a tactics card for a character that we have already done. So let's talk about that right now. That card is called Inhuman Queen. It is Inhumans specific affiliated. It is a reactive card, and it is a leadership card. So when you pick your active leadership ability, you would pick this card. It is for Medusa, and it is called Queen of the Inhumans. Once per turn, when an allied character dazes or KOs an enemy character, it may gain 1 power, may remove up to 1 damage, and may advance short. This is exactly the same, functionally, as Malekith's leadership. Right?
Yes.
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 So
It's slightly different wording, but I think that's more of a space issue than anything.
yeah, it is functionally exactly the same as Malekith's. We were discussing it before the podcast, and this is actually the second time they've done this. Stephen pointed out that there was another time they had exactly the same leadership in 2 different affiliations, and that is Black Panther's leadership, the original Black Panther's leadership, along with the newest Iron Man.
Invincible
It is
Iron Man.
the Invincible Iron Man. They are the exact same leadership, functionally. They have worded them both differently in both of these cases.
Yeah.
But
The Iron Man Black Bolt one, a Black Panther one is like barely. There's like 1 word difference or something. I don't know. I was looking at it earlier.
yeah. So, but anyway, let's talk about this leadership. I think on Malekith, this leadership is great. In Inhumans, I think it's still a good leadership, and Inhumans can kill stuff. I mean, like Black Bolt himself kills stuff left and right. So I think this will definitely see play. And I think this is the only one leadership that you can have with the new Black Bolt model, because obviously
That's
you
not
can't
true.
take. That's not true.
Fred hasn't looked at the new characters and doesn't know that Maximus is also a leader.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Maximus is also a leader. Okay, well, there we go. Never mind. I take it back. But this is another option for Inhumans, and it can
It
let you
is.
play without Black Bolt if you were intending to.
I would
Okay.
I would definitely put a tricks and traps person with this leadership.
Oh, like a Green Goblin or a Mysterio.
Yeah, yeah, I would do that as a splash because you could, incidentally just daze somebody
Oh, you're
and
right.
take somebody by surprise.
Yeah, you could trigger this on their turn.
Hmm.
That would be a good plan. Okay, so let's hold off on the other Inhumans tactics cards until we do the relevant character, the character that they are for. Uh, there are some other cards that we should talk about, though. We now know 3 of the new crises that are coming in the War of Kings box. That's the box with Gladiator. Uh, let's take them in alphabetical order because that
That's a
seems
great
to make the
idea.
most sense. So the first one is called Guardians Save Shi'ar Empress in Style. It is a we actually discussed this one a little bit in our last episode. It is a not quite a B, not quite the old B, and not quite a sword base. It's a little bit in between both of them. It is 4 secure objectives spaced very similar to those in a rectangle, but not quite the same. And it is simply a secure. You just hold it with a person. No, it's a pay to flip. This one is the pay to flip. Yes.
Yes, this one's the pay to flip. That
And
you
if a
always
character's
roll 3 dice.
correct, and the number of hit, crit, or I said it wrong. Crit, hit, or wild that you roll has to be greater than the number of opposing characters that are contesting it in order for you to flip it onto your side. And if you are holding one or more extract objective tokens, you may re-roll one of the dice when interacting with the security terminal. I think that's fun. I think this is a good secure. It is certainly going to see play in metas where there's a lot of Kingpin. And I do believe that we talked about this on our last episode now that I'm thinking about it. Okay. The next one is called Scientific Samples Found in Discovered Universe. It is a D extract crisis, and you can interact with one, pick it up, and you can only hold one sample at a time. Once per turn, when a character holding a sample rolls dice after the effect is resolved, if the roll contained one or more skull results, that character gains 1 power. Additionally, during the cleanup phase, if all of a player's characters holding extract objective tokens are within range 2 of one or more secure objective tokens, that player scores 1 VP. So that is, I like the ones where you can score extra VPs. I like this and Paranoia. This one's going to be a lot tougher to score than Paranoia was
Yeah.
because it says
Well,
all of your players. What?
all that you are holding,
Oh, well, true. If you're only holding one,
it'll
it'll
be
be
very
easy to do.
easy to score that extra point. And if you're holding a bunch, it will be much harder. And I really like that.
Yeah.
I like
It's
that it's easier to score the points if you don't have very many.
it's a little bit of rubber bandism.
Uh-huh.
Like a team can't just, or it's tougher for a team to just run away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good little effect they built in that. I like it.
Yeah.
And then that one is 17 threat. Both of those that I said were 17 threat. I should have said. The final one that we will be talking about is a 20 threat extract. It is called Ship Security Breached in Royal Rescue. It is laid out exactly the same as scrolls, where there are 4 secures, 2 on the sides, and then 2 that are very close to the center on the center line. Uh, they are 4 key cards, and you can only carry one at a time. And when a character holding a key card interacts with an objective token, after the effect is resolved, it gains 1 power. So it is not quite, but almost interacting with a secure objective for free. Not quite.
Not
You
quite,
have to have the power to initiate it. Like you still have to start with the power. So I like that too. It means that you can't just grab this and then interact with an objective with a secure objective. You still have to have 2 power on the first turn is what I'm talking about. But
Well,
like,
there's some fun things you can do with this one, Fred.
yeah, tell me about
So, the big one is Mystique. You can pick one of these up with a character under Mystique's leadership and get refunded your power. And then go interact with a pay to flip and then get refunded your power.
Yep. So
Uh,
you can do it all with 1 power.
yeah. The other big one is, and you end up with 1 power at the end. The other one is
Right.
first class under X-Men. You get to interact with you can interact with one of these key cards for free, and then go interact with a pay to flip, and then get refunded your power, and you don't lose any power.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate this.
Those
You-
I think those two teams are going to be playing this a lot.
yeah, it's an X-Men or a mutant team aid.
Yeah,
So Brad's happy.
I am happy.
Don't forget chimichangas.
Oh, chimichangas. You're right.
Yeah, you could get refunded your power from Chimichangas if you want, or the dossier in Weapon X.
Yep.
Those are both
like it.
such bad cards, though.
I know. I was just bringing it up because
The dossier is better than Chimichangas. They're both bad, though.
They are both bad, but they're fun. Okay, well, those are the 3 crises that we know about. There are going to be 3 more. Is that correct? Or are there going to be a lot more than that?
There are 5 of each type.
Yeah, okay, so there are 7 more.
There are 7
boy.
more. Yeah. I do like this design space they're going in, where the objectives are kind of interacting with each other, like getting a reroll on a pay to flip if you're holding an extract, and the extract giving you an extra point if you're near the secures. Like, that's really cool. I love that.
Yeah. Making them work, like, the 2 of them can work in tandem sometimes.
And so that you
Are
can
these
find cool combos that work for your team and stuff. It's fun.
these are all 4 points so far, right?
That's correct. So they are only 4 of each. They're all 3 that we have said are 4 total objectives on the field.
Yeah, you can score 5 points on the extract.
Correct.
And from the spread that we saw, we have not seen a 15.
That's correct.
Yeah, but
I
we
mean-
saw the numbers for like 6, 5 or 6 out of the 10.
Was it even that many? I think it was 4.
I don't know. I have the
don't
picture
remember.
saved on my computer. It might have been 4. But we are using my computer to record the screen right now. So
Oh well, then we'll never know.
Never
All right.
know.
Well, that is. Those are the AMG news points that have happened. So, there's also the LVO occurred.
oh,
LVO happened.
yeah,
And-
there's one more AMG news too.
Oh, what? Okay.
Cuz
What's the AMG
they
news?
updated the tournament rules.
Oh, What's the update?
So they said it was
I
a
haven't heard
huge update that they changed how Swiss pairs work and everything. The only thing I could find that actually changed is that they have, at the end of the round timer, they actually have a way to resolve who wins the match.
Okay.
But no one uses their round timer, so I don't know that it's relevant.
Yeah.
It will be at Adepticon.
It will be at their official events. So what it is after the timer's up, they start another 15-minute timer, and they can finish the round in that time and then score out the game, and then that's it. Or if the 15-minute timer goes out, they immediately score as if it's the end of the turn, and that's it.
Huh. Okay.
That's what they added.
Okay.
And I'm surprised I remembered that because it didn't seem relevant.
It's so corner case. Like
Hopefully. There are slow players out there,
hopefully.
though, Fred.
That's true. As a generally quite quick player, I will rarely see this. Excuse me. I apologize. I had a tickle there. Also, the answer is there are 4 visible crisis cards on that image that we got. Yeah. None of which are for 15. There is a 16.
Maybe they'll bring back 14.
I doubt it. I doubt it very much.
Yeah, I doubt it too.
I think 14's done.
I think 15 might be on the chopping block.
I hope not. I hope not. Like 15's not a terrible. I mean, as 15, a Web Warriors player, I should hate it, but
15 is terrible.
15 is where things get abused. So
I don't know.
I could see them cutting 15 out.
That's why they cut out. That's why they cut out 14.
That's true. That is why 14 no longer exists.
Right after I figured out how good X-Men were at 14. Like, I literally finally put it together how good X-Men were on old Sword Base, and it wasn't 2 weeks later. It was changed.
It was gone.
but Fred, I think you have not gone against the Thor Hero of Midgard, Loki, and Beta Ray Bill list.
Oh, right.
I have
the murder list.
It wasn't fun, was it?
I made my opponent quit the game.
Oh.
I guess not completely forever, but quit playing that game. I killed Bill at the top of turn 2 and had already dazed Thor.
Oh, wow. What were you playing?
Cyclops X-Men.
Oh, gosh.
And then the other boogeyman is Red Skull 3, Baron Zemo, and Thanos. With Mind Stays.
That one's pretty bad. Malekith under Red Skull 3 is also pretty bad at that level. But I think you have to play. Is it Bullseye that you have to play at that point?
No. You could play. You could play another, because that's only 11. So that you could play.
Oh, you could play a 4-pointer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's really good then.
Yeah.
You can't play Ultron 2.
Thank God.
Yeah.
That would be awful.
No, it's Ultron 2, Red Skull, and Hulk.
That one's also pretty bad. Yeah.
Boy, we're catastrophizing here, and this is all just speculation. We have not heard anything about them changing 15s.
But that's the trouble.
That's the trouble.
That's the trouble with 15s.
Yeah. That's the danger of 15s. Is there can be degenerate attrition lists that are just gonna dominate that point level. Okay, let's move on to games that we have played recently. So right now, I'm the only person on the podcast who has actually played any MCP since the last record. I played 2 games against Brandon. He was playing Midnight Suns against my Web Warriors. And
wait, Fred, how long before I got there had you guys started your first game?
Oh, it was not that long. We were
Yeah.
setting up, I think, when you walked in the door.
Okay. So you played 2 games of MCP before we played 1 game of Shatterpoint, and you guys left way before we did.
I believe yes, that's true.
Okay,
That is correct.
just making sure. Okay,
That
go
is accurate.
continue with your story.
In that's nothing against Shatterpoint.
No, Shatterpoint's a great
or the speed
game.
that it goes. That's we are just Brandon and I both go quick in games of MCP, and the first game of MCP we played did not go long. He was playing Midnight Suns, and I was playing Web Warriors. I played the first round. Oh, I don't remember enough about it. It was at 17 threat, I remember, and I played Namor and uh, a 3 as well as my core 9. I think the 3 was Ghost Spider. That's who it would be. So I played Namor, Ghost Spider, and Black Cat, Miles Morales, and Spectacular Spider-Man. And he played Dracula and Blade and oh boy, I don't remember everything he brought, but it was really, really devastating. He had so many mystic attacks that I could do nothing about and that were eating me alive. He completely destroyed me this game. It was a lesson in how bad of a matchup it is for me to go into Midnight Suns because usually I can run away and be generally pretty safe. Not with Midnight Suns. Midnight Suns are fast enough that they can chase me down, and they hit hard enough that they can kill me. And they have enough tools in the Mystic category that they will annihilate my people who have spider senses, who can re-roll on physical and energy attacks. This,
Seems like this would have been a good time to put in Amazing Spider-Man.
yeah, I don't have him in my roster. This game did not go well. The second game we played was again at 17 threat, but this time the objectives were more in my favor. We played Spider Infected and Superpowered Scoundrels. That's a lot better for. I forget what the crises were on the first one, but they were not those two, and they were much worse for me. This one, I played instead of Namor and Ghost Spider, I played Agent Venom and Spider Woman. Agent Venom and Spider Woman together did so much more work than what I was expecting. Agent Venom did the Lord's work this game. He during my all webbed up turn, he dazed I think 3 models. I don't remember exactly. He dazed 2 models at least and did damage to a third. And it was Brandon still won this game, but it was much closer. And I played Moon Knight in this game, and Moon Knight did great because of his mystic defense. He's a good drop into Midnight Suns.
Yay! Fred found a place for him.
I found a place for Moon Knight. He did all right in this game, and this came down to dice. Like, there was a point where Brandon had to daze Moon Knight, or I would win the game. And he made 2 attacks from Iron Fist into Moon Knight and failed to do. I think it was 2 damage. I think Moon Knight had 1 hit point left, and it forced him to move Wong down and punch Moon Knight to do the final damage, which did happen. He did deal the final damage with Wong, but if that had not happened, I would have won the game. And that felt really good. Like, this was a game that went much better for me. So in the Midnight Suns matchup, I now know I need to drop Agent Venom and Moon Knight. And Spider-Woman also. She was very good, but her addition was less important than those 2. Okay, that was my takeaway from the games that I've played recently. Brad, do you want to talk any about your game of Shatterpoint?
Yeah. It did take a while to play. I played CJ. He played a bunch of bounty hunters. So he played the Mandalorian, Grief Karga, IG88. I think that's the right IG. That's
Sounds right.
babysitter. That's babysitter IG, right?
No, no, that's IG88's the one that's
IG11 then.
there you go. There you go.
Babysitter IG11.
That's it. Hmm.
I'm glad you know your droids, Fred. Then his other squad was Cad Bane's squad, just that box. And then I played all the Mandalorians, so I also had the Mandalorian, Bo-Katan, and the Clan Kryze Mandalorians, and then the Armorer box. So Armorer, Paz Vizsla, and the Mandalorian cultists, or whatever they're called in the game. And I ended up winning. I won the first two struggles. The game was a ton of fun. My theory that whoever has the most Mandalorians wins the game is still holding up. And we also almost had fully painted lists. CJ had one model not painted, and I had two. So
You and CJ both are doing a good job of keeping up on your painting.
I try. I like
Much
playing.
better than me.
I like playing with painted models, so I put in the work.
I need to find someone to paint my models. You're right. It's better to play with painted stuff. It always feels nice.
Yeah.
I just need to find someone to do it for me.
Well, I know some people. You'll have to pay them, but
That's fine. Steven, do you have any games that you want to talk about?
No, sir, I did not play any games this week. I had
besides Anchorman.
Besides Anchorman, yeah, I had a birthday obligation to go to on Thursday.
Oh, okay. All right then. Well, let's move right along to Brad's trivia game. Hey, Brad, do you have some trivia to torture me with?
I do, if you'll give me just 1 second. You caught me in the middle of saving a screenshot on my phone.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. I should have been doing it because I knew this was coming. So, how the trivia game works is I ask Fred some trivia about the characters of MCP, the ones represented in the game, but the trivia isn't about the game. It's about the comics that these characters are based on. And Fred has read very few of the comics, and even the ones he's read, he hasn't brought back to me. So
I'm sorry. I forgot to bring it on Thursday.
I think I know what I'm giving you next, too.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
Notice?
What?
Yeah, past due notice.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a couple things I could give you, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, if Fred gets it right with the first hint, the first clue, he gets 3 points. If he gets it right with the second clue, he gets 2 points. If he has to go to Steven for help, he gets 1 point. Fred needs 6 points to win, and that rarely happens. Fred, are you ready?
Yes.
While leading the Kree Empire, a race of aliens that have two classes, the Kree Empire is a race of aliens that have two classes, the blue-skinned ruling elite and the pink-skinned underclass. This character fought a war with the Shi'ar, which is a race of aliens descended from birds instead of apes. The war ended when this character fought the leader of the Shi'ar in single combat, and they both fell through a rip in space-time. They both got better.
So this character was leading the Kree Empire?
Yes. That is what the piece of trivia said.
Is this Gladiator?
That is incorrect.
Okay, poop.
Your hint. This character is from a race of genetically altered individuals. He is destined to destroy the Kree Empire after taking on 5 wives, each wife being a member of the same genetic tampering done on different planets by the Kree.
Oh boy, who's led the Kree and now wants to destroy the Kree
Is
and
destined
is
to destroy them.
destined to destroy them and is a genetic creature.
Genetically altered race
By
of people.
led, when you in the previous hint, when you said led, does that mean like lead in combat, or do you mean like is
Led
functionally the head of
was the
the state,
emperor of the Kree Empire.
emperor of the Kree Empire?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Who is the emperor of oh gosh. All right. Is this Ronan the Accuser?
No. That is who becomes emperor of the Kree Empire after this person steps down.
Okay.
So not too bad of a guess. Steven.
I know that that's a Kree.
He is Kree. Ronan is Kree.
Okay.
Steven,
Wow.
can you help him out here?
No, I cannot.
Would you
I
like to
have
take
no
a blind guess to maybe get Fred a point?
A blind guess? Geez. I don't know. Nova?
That is incorrect. So this is Black Bolt.
Wait, what?
So
Black Bolt?
the Inhumans were created by the Kree, and Black Bolt took all his friends and family and his entire city to the Kree Empire and said, "I'm your emperor now," and was emperor.
And he had 5 wives. What does Medusa feel about that?
She's one of the 5. So
How does she feel
there are
about that?
the human Inhumans, and then there are Inhumans of other alien races. So there are Shi'ar Inhumans, there are Badoon Inhumans, there are Dire Wraith Inhumans, and the female leader of each of them is a bride of, or I think just full on wife of Black Bolt. In
Okay.
the Jonathan Hickman run of Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Do you know who Jonathan
So-
Hickman is, Fred?
The name, I've heard the name before. What did Jonathan
He's the
Hickman-
one that wrote all I can think of is Ten of Swords. What's the one before that? House of X, Powers of 10. Yeah. He also
There you
wrote
go.
Ten
Okay.
of Swords, but and
Okay, so he's good.
Inferno. Yeah, he's a really good author.
Okay.
So Black Bolt is a polygamist.
Technically, yes.
Okay.
He's from a different culture, Steven.
Oh, he's not Catholic, that's for sure.
He is definitely not Catholic. Okay, so if we get a point recap right now, Fred has 0 points. On to the next question.
Oh boy.
DC has a character with this same name who has similarities to the Marvel one. Both are supervillains that use magic, and both are ancient beings.
Both have okay, so it's the same name as DC's version. DC has a version of this who's a villain.
I don't even
who's
know
the
which
same-
one came first. I didn't even look at the dates.
Oh boy. Okay. But that doesn't really help me all that much. Like I don't know anything about DC either.
I know that you have heard of this DC character.
Okay. I'm still. They both use magic and both what? What was the second?
They're
part of
both
that?
ancient beings, and they're supervillains.
Ancient beings. Okay. Who uses magic and who's a supervillain? It's not Dormammu. Could it be Dormammu? Like, is there a Dormammu in DC? I don't know. I'm gonna guess Dormammu.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Your hint. This character was once stopped by Dazzler at one of Dazzler's gigs. While this character attacked Dazzler, several superheroes in the audience clogged up the bathroom as they all tried changing into their superhero costumes at the same time. This character tries to get their revenge on Dazzler in a later comic by abducting her and casting a silent spell on her. After the silent spell is lifted, Odin forces Dazzler and this character to settle their differences with a singing competition. Dazzler wins.
With a singing competition? Oh crap. Is
Fred, do you know who
might
Dazzler is?
she an X-Men who uses sonic powers?
Wow, you are very close. So she is a mutant who happens to be a disco singer and changes sound to light energy. That's her mutant power. And she
Okay.
does join the X-Men later. I think we've talked about her before because she absorbed Claw
Yes, that's right. You have
and
mentioned
then
that
became
before.
a Herald of Galactus.
Okay. uh and Odin is involved somehow for some reason.
Uh, Odin was definitely mentioned in there. He's the one that came up with
Uh-huh.
the singing competition.
Could it be Loki? There could be a Loki in DC. I'm gonna guess Loki.
That is incorrect. Steven.
Daggone it.
Oh, I don't know. Enchantress?
That is correct.
Oh, Enchantress.
Have you
Okay.
seen Suicide Squad?
Oh, yes, I have.
She is in
The-
that movie.
She's the bad guy in the very first one.
Uh-huh.
I guess, yeah. In the terrible one.
The not that bad if you forget that Jared Leto's in it movie.
Yes. Except he is.
He is in that movie. And
He is in that movie.
when I told Brandon when I watched that movie for the first time, I was like, I like that movie. And he's like, what about Jared Leto's Joker? And I was like, I literally totally forgot that even happened. Just completely out of my mind. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Enchantress. Okay.
So Fred has 1 point so far. He only needs 5 more points to win.
I correct you. I have 1 point. Fred has 0.
Correct. Accurate.
You have earned Fred 1 point. Okay, Fred, here is your final character trivia for today. Not ever. The Internet Movie Database lists this character appearing in 82 films. However, Wikipedia lists 112 movie appearances of this character.
Oh my goodness. Is that it? Is that the entirety of the
That's the clue.
okay, so it's a huge character who's probably been around for a long time. Is this Spider-Man?
Fred, do you think Spider-Man has 112 movie appearances?
Credits?
Movie.
I mean, maybe.
Movie appearances.
Oh, then who else is it? Like,
Oh my gosh.
100. Okay. So I guess it's not Spider-Man, is it?
This is only movie. This is not TV show, video games, anything else.
Oh wait. No, I don't. Well, I've said Spider-Man. I guess that's
No,
that was my
I'm
guess.
giving you the chance to change your answer, Fred.
Okay. In movies, so like, who else has more? Well, you get what other character that's in this game? Here's my answer. Stan Lee is my answer. Is he in Marvel Crisis Protocol, Brad? Is he here in
No.
this game?
No, and that is incorrect, obviously. Your hint. This character was once asked to follow his heart by Cyclops of the X-Men as a means to get this character to help.
This is Dracula.
Of
It now makes a lot more
course.
sense.
Of
It now makes a lot more
course.
sense. Okay.
Of course it's a character they stole from the public domain.
Okay. Well, darn it.
Oh my gosh. I thought that first clue was like pretty obvious that it was like
just
it had to be like a Dracula or a Frankenstein's monster or something.
I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it. Oh
Okay.
well.
So that brings Fred up to 3 points. For 2 points, your bonus question. What do these characters have in common?
Okay, so the first one is a person. Daggone it. Who's the first one?
Jesus.
How I forgot the first one this time.
It's Black Bolt.
It's Black Bolt. Okay. Uh, and then it's Enchantress. Then it's Dracula. Um, what do they have in common? Do they all have mystic attacks? Does Black Bolt have a mystic attack? Hold on. Am I not allowed to look this up?
Even if you get the 2 points, you can't win. So just go ahead and look it up.
Okay, well, all right. Does Black Bolt have a mystic attack? Is my question, and the answer I'm seeing is no. Unless there is a new Black Bolt, isn't there? King Black Bolt is his name. He also does not have a mystic attack, but they all have. They don't innately have flight, but they all can fly because Dracula can give himself flight. So they all have flight. How about that?
That is not what I was going for, but it's been so rough this time, Fred. I'm just going to give you 1 point for that.
Okay. What were you going for?
They all have a bow effect, a pay to move someone effect.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because King Black Bolt does.
Okay. I have not even read his card yet, so
Yeah.
well,
I didn't know that when I wrote the trivia.
okay, well, I mean, they do all have flight, for the record.
Yes.
Enchantress has flight, so does the new Black Bolt, and Dracula can give himself flight.
You're not wrong.
Okay, well, I've
You're
lost
just
this
wrong.
one, everyone. I've lost everybody out there, so thank you, Brad, for defeating me again in your diabolical trivia game. Okay, so let's move on to the person that we are here to cover today. That person being Gladiator, otherwise known as Kallark.
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 You know
Okay.
why his name's Kallark?
Is it supposed to be very similar to Kal-El, which is Superman?
And Clark.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the Imperial Guard was co-created by Chris Claremont and why am I blanking on the artist, because the artist is the important person. Dave Cockrum. Dave Cockrum started drawing X-Men right after he was done drawing the Legion of Superheroes, which are a group of superheroes that live in the future that Superman goes and hangs out with all the time, especially when he is a teenager. They thought it would be a funny little joke if they put the Legion of Superheroes in the X-Men comics. So, Gladiator is Superman. He is literally Superman.
Okay. Okay.
So they named him Kallark so it would be obvious. All of the Imperial Guard have like Legion of Superhero connections. Like they're all just different versions of those characters.
They're legally distinct.
Yeah, they're
versions.
legally distinct. Some of the X-Men, like Nightcrawler and Storm, and I think Colossus, were all their designs were created by Dave Cockrum, and they were rejected Legion of Superhero characters that they reworked into X-Men. Yeah. So, like, Black Cat's a combination of two of the characters. They took the visual from one and the power set from the other. Nightcrawler is just straight up exactly what he was going to be. So that's why his name is very similar to Superman's. You can continue reading the card now.
All right. His defenses are 4 physical, 5 energy, and 4 mystic. He has 9 stamina on both sides of his card. He is a threat value of 6, a size of 2, and a movement speed of medium. And if I'm correct in my assessment, he is on a medium base as well.
That it
Hey,
does seem like he is on a medium base.
yes. Hey, Steven.
Yes.
Why don't you do his attacks?
Okay, so for the first attack, we have the Praetor Punch. It is range 3. It is 6 strength. It costs 0 power. After this attack is resolved, this character gains power equal to the damage dealt. On a wild, you will trigger Suppressive. After the attack is resolved, the target character loses 1 power for each wild in the attack roll. Next, we have an energy attack, which is Eye Beam. It is Beam 4. It is 5 strength. It will cost 2 power. It has a wild Incinerate. After the attack is resolved, the target gains the Incinerate special condition. And then last, we have Magister's Might. It is a physical attack. Range 3, 10 strength, 5 power cost. On a wild, you will trigger a stagger. After the attack is resolved, the target character will gain the stagger special condition. And then, on a wild again, you will trigger a throw. Before damage is dealt, this character may throw the target character away short, and that is not size restricted.
Yeah, he can throw a Sentinel if he wants to.
Dormammu.
Or Jumamu. Hey, Brad, why don't you do the rest of his card?
Oh, thanks, Fred.
You're welcome.
This is what I get for the trivia. His first active superpower for the Empress and Empire costs 3. It's an action. He makes a move followed by a Praetor Punch attack. If the attack deals damage, this character gains 1 confidence token. This super can be used only once per turn. We'll get to the confidence tokens in just a second. His second active superpower is Imperial Authority. It is cost 3. Choose an interactive terrain feature size 4 or less within range 2 and throw it long once per turn.
Oh, God.
Yeah. At least it's only range 2, Fred.
Yeah.
His first innate is the Magister's Bravado. When this character deals damage with the Praetor Punch attack after the attack is resolved, this character gains 1 confidence token. When this character suffers damage, it loses 1 confidence token. This character may have a maximum of 5 confidence tokens at any time. When this character makes an attack, it adds 1 die to the attack roll for each confidence token it has. His second innate superpower is Alpha Strontian Physiology. There we go. During the power phase, gain 1 additional power. And then he has Flight.
All right. Okay, so on first blush, looking at this guy, he is a huge hitter. Like, he is a 6 threat guy. He has 18 stamina, which is a ton of stamina. He has 9 on both sides of his card. He hits like a truck. I mean, okay. The Magister's Bravado, he can do for the Empress and the Empire, which is a charge that will generate a confidence token if it deals damage, and he will generate a confidence token if the Praetor Punch does damage. So that would be 2 confidence tokens he generates on a charge. Am I correct in that reading?
If he does at least 1 damage.
If he does at least 1 damage. It is a 6 dice attack. It is physical, so, I mean, I've whiffed on a 6 die attack.
Yeah. 6, this is one of the problems I have with him. He starts at 6 dice on his builder as a 6-point model. That's, I feel, rough.
Listen, if it were 7, it would be way too good. This, I think this guy with the confidence tokens, that could easily be, the first hit is 6 dice, and then the second hit is 8 dice. If it were 7 and 9, he would be way too good, right? I
yeah,
think,
you're
I
also
think yes.
you're also
Going all the way up to 12 on a builder sucks.
Yeah. 12 dice if you really just crank up the confidence tokens.
12 if it started at 7. It's 11 as is.
Right.
And
Still.
he gets 2 power a turn, which means he won't always get to charge. You can probably
I mean, he will
manufacture.
likely-
You can probably make sure that he gets a charge on turn 2.
Yeah.
You'd have to do something stupid, or your opponent would have to be like figure out some crazy stuff for that not to work.
Well, they don't like to give you the ability to charge round
Turn
one.
one,
I mean,
yeah.
it's possible, and you can do it. It's just you have to manufacture, and that's tough to do. But there are affiliations that exist where he can charge round one. Like
Yeah.
under Steve Rogers 1. He will be charging round 1.
Black Bolt 1.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Very important to point out on the affiliation list. Did you guys see that?
No.
he's
it?
unaffiliated.
Okay. He is entirely unaffiliated.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least he is. I don't think they've put the general one out. He is unaffiliated with any team that's on the timelines. But if he was going to be affiliated with anyone, it would have been some of those timelines teams, like the Guardians.
I mean, might he have his own affiliation?
We
would he have
we know his tactics cards.
We know all of his tactics cards?
We know.
Okay, so he
he
does
only
not
has
have.
2.
Okay. Then never mind. I guess he's just unaffiliated.
He is unaffiliated.
I'm kind of glad about that because he's so good. All right. Someone else talk about him. Steven, what do you think of what does this guy make you think? Just looking at his card.
He is good into some teams who will not have an answer for him. He is very, very bad into other teams who will have an answer for him.
What would you say is a good answer for him?
Hydra. He's not immune to anything.
Okay.
I also think he's just trash into Cabal.
Okay.
The confidence
They just kill him.
The confidence
Fine.
tokens place a huge bullseye on him because you're gonna want to attack him to take those out, and then if Cabal models start attacking you, you're just gonna die. He doesn't have damage reduction. All he has is his defense roll and his high health pool.
His very good defense roll and his very high health pool.
Remember, he loses confidence tokens every time he takes damage. So if you throw him into somebody and he takes the damage, he loses a confidence token.
If he triggers the tricks and traps, he loses a confidence token.
If he
lots
bleeds,
of ways.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. If he bleeds, he'll lose one.
if he interacts with an objective token, that will do damage to you.
Yep. Okay, so that you can bleed off those confidence tokens.
Yeah. That's why I'm worried that he may not be very good.
I don't think he's bad. All right. I want to take the stance that I still think he's great. Like, even without the confidence tokens on him. So, he can charge, if let's say he has 5 power on him at the start of his turn. If he's taken a bunch of damage, that's very likely. He charges in with a Praetor Punch. He places himself in such a way that he can get another model in a line. The charge Praetor Punch, he does 1 damage, and suddenly he fires off an I-beam at beam 4 at 7 dice energy that has Wild Incinerate.
I'm stunning him with the first chance I get.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there are ways around this. Like, you're right.
Turns off his kit.
He is not immune to stun, which most kaiju are immune to stun. So you're correct. Stun would be a great answer into this guy.
Stagger's good. And
Stagger's
like
always good.
His Magister's Might attack is a really good attack that you're never gonna do.
Because it's so expensive.
It's
5. It is.
Well,
5 power
even with
to
it
use.
being not 5 power, those tokens are so important.
You're only gonna Praetor's Punch.
You're only gonna Praetor's Punch. I
I-
think that's
I
all
don't
you're
thi-
gonna
if-
do ever.
I don't know if I agree. I think that you might I-beam and you might Magister's Might. if you've got the power, these are range 3 attacks, by the way. And if he's on a medium base, he can reach out and touch somebody. I think that he's got a. Imagine him on a gamma, and he charges into the middle. He eye beams down the gamma, and he throws. I mean, this is 3 actions, obviously. So what I'm saying has to be over 2 turns. But I don't know. I think that there's a lot of play here.
There is. I mean, there are some teams that will not be able to handle him at all.
Right.
And there are other teams that are going to throw him around like a rag doll.
I think that's probably a good place for him to be then, right? Like what you're saying is he seems like he will be relevant, but there are answers to him.
Well, here's the relevancy. He's also size 2.
Yeah,
And
so he can be pushed, he can be thrown by anybody.
By a lot of people, yeah.
Uh-huh. That is true. That is absolutely true. And he generates 2 power every turn.
Like I said, a stun and a poison on him would be detrimental.
Yep.
Yeah.
Him into Apocalypse, he's just not going to do anything.
I love Gladiator. I love him from the comics. I think he's a great character. And I want this guy to be good so bad. Because then there's a 6-point model that I can splash in my mutant list and not feel bad about it. And I just
Is this guy a mutant?
No, but he mostly shows up in X-Men comics.
Okay,
he's an
but
alien.
You would feel bad if you put a 6-point Thor in your X-Men
I don't
list?
even own Thor. But the model I go to if I need like a 6-point model is Hulk.
I mean, a great choice.
Yeah.
What?
Outstanding choice.
And
you've eschewed Apocalypse? Oh my gosh.
No, as a splash. I'm not splashing Apocalypse. Although there are times when that's appropriate. Like in general, that's not who I'm going to go for. So I've used Hulk in the past. If this guy could replace Hulk in my list, I would be so happy. Because this is a character I like better. I just don't know.
I think he's still good.
I don't think he's like good. Hulk levels.
You're probably right. He's probably not. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There's one advantage he has over Hulk, though.
What's that?
And that's he has an injured side.
Right. He can be dazed.
And more Hulk not being able to be dazed is kind of a detriment to him in the play that's happening now.
Yeah, if you can wipe out Hulk in one activation or one round. Like how many times have you guys seen Borka Dark Rain Hulk and just remove him from the table?
Yeah, this guy you can't really do that, but
yeah. I think that this guy, I like him. Okay. We've been talking about him. Brad, do you have anything to add about like his kit? Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. We have some tactics cards to talk about.
Oh, right. We do need to talk about tactics. Also, I do want to say this is another guy with a size 4 terrain throw at long range, which is
the throw's
awful.
good. I won't argue about that one.
When I say awful, I mean awful to play into. I'm looking at this from the Web Warriors perspective, and having a size 4 terrain feature thrown at me from long distance sounds terrible.
I wish he also threw characters like Hulk.
He does. You just have to do his spender.
Yeah, well, Hulk can do the spender twice and then throw a guy a third time.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, let's talk about these tactics cards. All right, the first one is Praetor of the Imperial Guard. It is an unaffiliated active tactics card. During Gladiator's activation, he may pay 4 power to play this card. Choose up to X other allied characters where X is equal to the number of confidence tokens Gladiator has. Each chosen character gains 2 power. That's cool. it assumes that you will have confidence tokens and spend 4 power on him.
Yeah, I don't
Oftentimes,
think you're gonna play this
okay,
card,
hold on.
Fred.
Yeah, I'm looking at him. I'm thinking that he's gonna have trouble having more than 2 confidence tokens on him at a time.
Yes.
4 power is a lot. That would be just moving 4 power from him to 2 other models.
Yes.
That's neat. That's neat. Is it worth it?
No.
I don't know. Steven, do you have a take on this?
You have a steep power cost, and you also have another cost in the confidence tokens. So already 2 triggers, so not so good.
Yeah. That's fair. All right. That is Praetor of the Imperial Guard. The second one is Protector of the Empire. It is an unaffiliated reactive tactics card. When another allied character is dazed or KO'd, an allied gladiator may spend 3 power to play this card. Gladiator may advance medium towards the enemy character that caused the effect, then make a Praetor punch attack against it. If this attack dazes or KOs the enemy character, after the attack is resolved, Gladiator gains 1 confidence token. Okay. All right. This is a punchback if they daze or KO a model, and it's only 3 cost. He would gain a confidence token from the Praetor punch if it deals damage, and then a second one if it dazes them.
Yes.
This one's a much better card.
Yeah. This one might see play. And it would be real nice if you play it when you already have like 2 on you.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
The best place to play it is when you have a Venom who attacks back, and then Venom does his damage, and then you trigger this card. Well, wait, no, you have to be dazed or KO. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I misspoke.
I feel like this card. It's almost as if
you could do it with Gwenum. You could do it with Gwenum.
Oh, where like she could, if you
she could attack
somebody
first, and then you attack with him and have a better chance of dazing or KOing them.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
So he pairs with Gwenum well.
This card is almost like you just do an out of activation charge. It's the same cost as the charge.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure is.
This can also get him back on a point if he's been moved off of it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you were playing Gladiator, I think you play this card. I think it's good enough that
I think it probably makes the 10. Maybe not always the 5. And it depends
on what you're playing.
Yeah, it depends on affiliation. I think it's pretty good though.
Okay. Those are his tactics cards. We now need to give him a letter grade. So I think that I'm further up on this guy than the two of you are. I think that he is scary and tough. Do I think he's as scary and tough as new Thor? No. Do I think that he is scary and tough enough to be someone that I have to be worried about seeing? Yes, absolutely. I don't have an answer to either one of them, if I'm to be perfectly honest, in my Web Warrior. My answer is, I guess, stagger them, which is a pretty good answer. But I got to say, I'm going to give this guy a solid... I'm going to give him I'm between B plus and A minus. And I'm going to say an A minus. I'm going to give him an A minus because I think he's big and beady. Okay. Steven, what are you going to give to Gladiator?
C plus.
C plus. Okay. All right. Just he's not as...
He's not exciting.
Okay. That's fair. Brad, how about you?
I want him to be good. He's at least okay. I think I'll go with B now and hope he's higher than that because I want to play him. Like, I want him to be good enough to make my list.
Okay. All right.
So we're spread out a bit, but
Well,
well,
my C plus also includes the fact that he does not have an affiliation.
that's true. He is
Yeah, he
unaffiliated, so
is
he
a
will
Splash
only be a
character.
Splash. Yep.
So
All right. Well, that was our take on Gladiator. Hey, Brad, do you have any comic books that you would like our listeners to read that feature old Kallark here?
I sure do, and you'll never guess what you caught me in the middle of.
Okay. Were you taking another screenshot?
I was of something else. Okay, here we go. I've got 3 recommendations, and one of them is a first time ever sort of recommendation. Never done anything like it before. That's the third one, though. So, one of the big storylines that he shows up in, we are already getting a more relevant character, and so I will recommend that later. So, I've got a couple other storylines here. We've got new X-Men 123 through 126. This story arc is called Imperial. This is Grant Morrison and Igor Cordy. And Cassandra Nova has taken over Xavier's body and has plans to destroy everything dear to Charles, including the Shi'ar Empire, home of his girlfriend. The Imperial Guard, led by Gladiator, tries to stop him/her. This is in the middle of one of the best runs of X-Men comics ever made. So it's just one of the storylines from Grant Morrison's legendary run on X-Men. So these are good comics.
So, Professor X has a Shi'ar girlfriend?
Yeah, the Empress of the Shi'ar is his girlfriend.
Isn't
She's a bird lady.
Okay. I was about to say, isn't she married to Black Bolt? But that's the leader of the Inhumans of the Shi'ar.
No,
married to
of
Black
the
Bolt.
Kree.
I thought you said that.
No. The Shi'ar Inhumans leader
Yeah.
is married to Black Bolt. Yeah, this is the leader of the entire empire
Okay.
of the Shi'ar. I see the confusion now. Yeah.
I mean, heck, everyone seems to be getting around quite a bit.
well, I
it
mean,
is comic
Professor
books.
X is just doing the thing that guys do and say that they, back in the day, they used to have pen pals who were in Europe who were girls, and they would say that's their girlfriend. So that's what Professor X is doing.
We are well familiar with. I have a girlfriend. She's Canadian. You wouldn't know her. But this is a real person. They have a child together. That child, Xandra, is current empress of the Shi'ar Empire because Landra dies at some point.
So human and Shi'ar DNA can intermix.
Yeah, and she is a
create
mutant.
a viable offspring.
Yes,
Com-
even
com-
though
comic books, Fred.
even though one of those races descended from apes and the other one's descended from birds. Yeah, she did hatch out of an egg.
Entities.
She did hatch out of an egg. If that makes you feel any better or worse, Fred, she hatched out of an egg.
I don't want to get into the details.
And was like an 8-year-old child when she hatched out of the egg.
She hatched.
Yeah. Okay. The next comic that I'm recommending is called Realm of Kings Imperial Guard. This is a mini-series. It's by Dan Abnett. Yes,
Hey.
that Dan Abnett. Andy Lanning, Brian Haberlin, and Kev Walker. This is after War of the Kings, where Black Bolt and Vulcan, who is the brother of Cyclops and who became the emperor of the Shi'ar Empire, have a fist fight in space and fall through a rip in space-time. And Gladiator is the new emperor of the Shi'ar Empire.
Okay. Oh wait, Okay. All right. Gladiator becomes the new emperor of Shi'ar Empire,
Yes.
while Ronan becomes the new emperor of the Kree Empire.
This is not when Ronan becomes the emperor of the Kree Empire.
Oh my gosh.
So
Okay.
Medusa takes over for Black Bolt. When Black Bolt comes back from the rift, he's like, okay, we're moving out. And they go back to Earth, and that's when he makes Ronan emperor. Because he has to go marry his other 4 wives. That's literally why he leaves.
This is so complicated. Okay.
All right. So Gladiator's the new emperor. And there is an unsteady peace between the Kree and the Shi'ar at this point. And to help make that a more lasting peace, Gladiator sends his friends, the Imperial Guard, on a mission into the Fault to try to find Black Bolt and bring him back. The Imperial Guard teams up with the Starjammers, who are a bunch of Shi'ar rebels isn't the right word. Outlaws. That they're usually hunting down and trying to stop. The Imperial Guard is, but they team up with them here to try to find Black Bolt, and things get weird inside the rip in space-time. Imagine that.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought? Do you know who leads the Starjammers?
No. What makes you think that I would know the answer to
Yeah,
that
that's
question?
that was a dumb question. So at this point, I believe if it wasn't during this series, then right before this series at least, it was Havoc, Cyclops' brother. His other brother.
His other brother? Okay.
Yeah. He has 2 brothers. He actually has 3 brothers. We're not going to talk about the third brother. Vulcan, who just died, and he was leader of the Shi'ar. Havoc, who he grew up with. Like, he's always known Havoc. And Havoc was leading the group. But before Havoc, it was Cyclops' dad was the leader of these space pirates when the X-Men first meet the space pirates in the first place.
Huh.
So, when Cyclops was a kid, Cyclops and Havoc were a kid, they were in a plane because their dad's a pilot, and he was flying along, and something bad happens, and the plane ends up crashing. But Cyclops and Havoc jump out of the plane and share a parachute and survive. But Cyclops gets brain damage that causes him to not be able to control his powers later in life. That's why he has to wear the visor.
That's why his eyes are always shooting.
Yes. It is revealed that their parents did not actually die in that plane accident. That at the last minute, the Shi'ar abducted them out of the plane and took them to the Shi'ar Empire.
And left the 2 children?
They didn't know about the children.
Are the Shi'ar like the villainous empire?
They're not great. So, especially who's in charge at this point, the Mad Emperor Dakin falls in love with Cyclops' mom, and when she wouldn't return that love, he kills her. Well, it's revealed later that she was pregnant.
With the third brother?
With Vulcan. So Vulcan ends up back on Earth and dies fighting Krakoa, the living island. And Xavier erases Cyclops' memory of his brother. And then it turns out he survives, and then he goes off and takes over the Shi'ar Empire. The other brother, because there's one more brother.
I thought we weren't talking about him.
Well, we're going to just mention him because I'm this deep already. His name is Adam X, the Extreme. And before Dakin kills Cyclops' mom, who I can't remember, Catherine, he had his scientists take his DNA, Dakin's DNA, and Catherine's DNA, and lab grow a baby that's half Shi'ar and half human, and that's Adam X.
Okay.
And Cyclops and Havoc find this out, but then they're like, at the end, they all realize that nobody can know this. Not Adam X, not Cyclops, not Havoc. Nobody can know this. It will cause too many problems. So they ask to get their memories erased about the whole affair. So nobody knows that Adam X is the brother of Cyclops, except the readers.
Okay.
Cyclops' family tree is the craziest thing ever.
You're telling me we've done multiple like deep dives into his family tree, and each time I'm more confused than the last about how this works.
Yeah. I think last time we talked about his kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not going into that again. Okay, my third recommendation, the weird one, is very recently, the Marvel has announced an upcoming series by Jonathan Hickman called Imperial. It's coming this summer. It's so recently announced that they haven't even announced who the artist is going to be on it. But it's Jonathan Hickman writing about the Imperial Guard, one of his favorite things. So I'm on board, and you should be too. This is going to be great. Whatever it is, it's going to be awesome.
It's a future recommendation.
It is a future recommendation. This miniseries will be awesome, I promise. And it may be more than just a miniseries. It might be a big old event. Because Jonathan Hickman has become very expensive to hire, so they usually try to get a pretty big bang for their buck.
Okay, then. All right, and those are your three recommendations.
Those are my three recommendations, and the history of Cyclops' brothers.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Brad, for recommending those. Oh.
Want to know one more weird Cyclops thing?
Sure.
Gambit might be a relative of Cyclops.
Oh my God. Okay.
He would be his great uncle. If the fan theories from the comics are correct. Like the comics present that this is a possibility.
Okay, let's not go too deep into
Okay,
this.
yeah. We can just move on.
Okay, all right. Steven, hey, can you think of an affiliation that would really work well for playing Gladiator?
One he's not already in.
Cool.
Well,
actually, I want to keep with that mutant theme that Brad's going with. So the first one I would recommend is Professor X with the power passing.
Okay.
So that could get pretty spicy.
See, I was thinking Cyclops.
And then the other mutant team I was thinking about was the New Mutants, which would give him movement.
Yeah, he could
without having to spend his power.
Wow.
Okay.
He would spend his power. The New Mutants.
Well, he would
cost
spend one power instead of 3 power.
Yeah. He gets a lot out of that 3 power, though.
Yeah, I think if he's right next to somebody with 3 power, he probably still does it.
Yeah.
Well, then he could teleport next to somebody really, really close and then hit him.
Yeah, true.
For 4 power with that card, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. He could like teleport up and then do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
what was it? Oh, his big spender is so amazing when he gets 5 tokens on, and he doesn't need to do his Praetor Punch anymore.
I mean, yeah, I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
15 dice stagger throw. Stagger probably doesn't matter at that point.
Right, you've probably destroyed them.
But yeah, I'm just saying that New Mutants being one of the newer factions doesn't have a huge, like a big hitter. I mean, Cable's pretty good, but they don't have like a muscle guy like this. You know,
they don't have a kaiju, something to scare the little guys.
None of the mutant factions do. Magneto doesn't count. He's a 5-point model at best.
Yeah, well, Gene's coming.
Yeah, we'll see. That has
All right.
potential.
The only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. So this guy is very spacey, right? He's from space.
He is an
He's from
alien. He
he's from other
is
places.
he is supposedly the last member of his race. However, 2 others have shown up, so that was a lie.
Of course. I have been watching a lot of anime recently, and
Nerd.
there is a foundational space anime that I have not watched yet. That I have been watching recently, and that was Cowboy Bebop. And
You
Oh,
haven't
boy.
seen this? Oh,
I have
no.
now. I have now. And I will say that it is outstanding. It is so good.
Yeah.
Like, it is so much better than I thought it was going to be. Like, okay. So my first thought, after the first episode was like, oh, they did Firefly before Firefly.
Yeah.
and it really, like, it grows in such a great way. It is such an outstanding anime.
Did you
Like,
watch the movie too?
I have not yet watched the movie.
Okay, you should watch the movie.
I should watch the movie.
What
When
episode are you on?
I have watched, I believe, the first 40 episodes. So
What? There's
I
4.
thought Cowboy Bebop only
was
had
24.
is it
Yeah.
only 24? I'm pretty far in. I'm almost finished with the series. But what I was going to say is I feel like when I
26.
recommended 26, okay. I've when I recommended Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That was the best anime I'd ever seen. This may be the best anime I've ever seen. Cowboy Bebop.
Do you know this came out in 1998?
Yep. In the first episode, or maybe the first few episodes, I don't remember exactly when, there was a piece of graffiti that said, built in 2025, which I found very funny.
Yep. Well, no, it's a good series.
It is
Yeah, it's
very
outstanding.
good.
So watch Cowboy Bebop, everybody. All right, and that is it for our episode today. Thank you both for joining me and talking about Gladiator, and thank you to our listeners for sticking with us for this long. I hope that everyone out there has a wonderful day. Goodbye.